Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me in this video. In this video, we will see how Ansible can be used for automating the deployment of a Django project on an AWS EC2 server. This is the IP address of the EC2 server that we will be using for this video, and this is the interface. And currently, if you see, the application is accessible on the IP address of the server. Okay, now how I did that, let me just show that to you. So there is this directory called Ubuntu, in which the complete code of the application is present. Okay, then there is this file in Nginx, okay, in which our Nginx configuration is present. Its name is myproject.conf. There is Gunicorn that we are using, and the configuration of Gunicorn is present inside the system directory, okay, inside this Gunicorn.service named file. Now I'll fire a command and delete everything from the server. So whatever has been created by Ansible, everything will get deleted. So you can see Gunicorn has gone away, Nginx has gone away. Now if I will try to access the application, see, it says Nginx error. Okay, now what I will do is I'll come back here and give it a refresh. Let's see whether the service is there or not. So the service which we created is not there. Then let's see in the Nginx folder, do we have that conf file or not? So the conf file is also not there. Now we are going to come inside the home directory and we will see if Ubuntu folder is there. So Ubuntu is there, correct? Ubuntu is there, but inside it we do not have anything related to the project. So earlier the complete project code was there, but now there is nothing. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is we have to come here in the master branch of this repo, and there is this command Ansible playbook -i inventory playbook.yaml. I'll explain it to you once I'm done with demonstrating the complete applications automation process of deployment to you guys. So what is happening currently, the Ansible command which I fired, it is creating everything again on the server. It is creating the conf file, it is creating the Gunicorn service, it is configuring the required libraries, it is configuring the permissions on the folders, everything. Fine. And once it is done, so as you can see, the command got executed successfully. And now if I will try to access the application, I'm able to see it again. And let me just come inside the Ubuntu folder. So the folder inside which the Django project code is there is again here. We can see the virtual environment, we can see the Gunicorn socket. I'm going to come here inside this etc, and let's check out the Nginx folder and see if we have the conf file there or not. So we do have the conf file also. Now if I will come here in the system named folder, do we have the Gunicorn service available or not? So we do have the Gunicorn service also available. Okay, now I'm going to delete everything again and will show you everything. So I've deleted everything again. The application is now no more accessible on the server's IP address. Okay, and now I will show you the complete structure of Ansible, and I'll fire the command again and deploy the application on the server again in front of you. So here I will have to come inside this home named folder. Inside it, we have this EC2-user. So this is something which you get by default when you deploy a EC2 server on AWS. Okay, I've not created it. It is by default that we get. Now, the first thing that you have to do is create this directory named Django Ansible-deploy. If you do not want to do these things manually, you can simply come here and get the code from the master branch of this repository. Okay, so here you will see this steps named folder which contains all the steps required for configuring Ansible on an EC2 server. It contains all the folders, all the files that you require for deploying your Django application on an EC2 server. So we are going to start with this command itself. What is this command? It is Ansible playbook. So this is something which is required for firing the Ansible command, Ansible-playbook. How you have to install Ansible? So you just have to do pip install Ansible for installing Ansible on your EC2 server first, and after that you can fire these commands. Okay, so the first thing which it is doing is -i inventory playbook.yaml. So there is this inventory named file. Let me just open it. So while firing this command, make sure you are inside this deploy-Ansible-deploy named folder inside which your complete Ansible structure is present. Now I'm going to come here, open with, and then let's open it with VS Code. Okay. So in this inventory, we have the server's IP address, we have the Ansible user, which is EC2 user, and then we are using this private key of the server for logging into the EC2 server we have on the AWS. So when you deploy an EC2 server on AWS, it always asks you to create a PEM file. So PEM file is nothing but the private key of the server. And what I did was I put this PEM key over here inside this directory. And that is the reason I've passed the Ansible SSH private key file variables value like this. Okay, this is a value which I'm passing to this variable. And with the help of this, now Ansible will be able to SSH into my server. Okay, so that's what we have created this inventory file for. The next file that comes is playbook.yaml. So let me just open this playbook.yaml for you. And here you will see that we have the names of couple of directory is listed out. See, common, Django, Gunicorn, Nginx. So the first thing it will do is it will execute all the YAML files present in this common name directory. Then the turn of Django's directory will come, and after that Gunicorn and at the last Nginx YAML files will be executed. Now let's come here in the roles folder, and here you will find the complete structure of this these folders that we have listed down in this playbook.yaml. So we have defined it under the umbrella of roles. Now the first thing that we have to see is common named folder. Inside it we have a task named folder, and that's where the main.yaml file for common is defined. Now here you see we are saying update system packages of Amazon Linux. So if you're using Ubuntu, you'll have to configure this file accordingly. Because I'm using Amazon Linux, that is the reason I've used all these things. Okay, so latest, and then we have this state as present, we have this python-pip virtual environment, all these defined here. Next thing that comes is, so I'm going to go out, and let me just show you one more thing before going to the other folder. So there is this group_vars named folder. So it gets executed automatically by Ansible when you run this command. Now what we have in this all.yaml file, let me show you that. So we have defined these variables here, values of which we are passing to different YAML files we have defined inside all these directories. So just remember these variables. These are global variables which Ansible can access anywhere, anytime in these YAML files which we have defined inside these directories. So there is this app named called my project. Repo URL is this. Okay, we are pulling the code from this Django Ansible deployment.get. Just a second. So I think instead of this Django CI/CD public, I'm using, there is one more repo which I created before shooting this video, and I'm going to give the link of that also to you, so don't worry about that. This is the one, Django Ansible deployment. Okay, from here we are pulling the complete structure of the Django project. Okay, so here if you see, what happens is we have this my project, inside which the settings.py file is there. Inside the same repo we have the manage.py, requirements.txt, with the help of which we are installing all the libraries required for running the project on the EC2 server. We have this deploy info named application. So this application which you get when we execute this URL is the one which is coming from here. Okay, what is the next thing? Project directory, home Ubuntu app name. So this is going to be our project directory because we are using Ubuntu named folder. If you want to put it inside EC2 dash user, you can simply replace it with EC2 dash user. Totally depends upon you. Okay, then comes the Gunicorn socket. So just replace it with your EC2's instances IP address. Use Postgres. We are not using Postgres here, so simply I've said false. Then DB name, app name, DB user. If you want to define all these, feel free to do, but we are not using it anywhere in the YAML files we have created inside these directories. So for me, these are not applicable. It's for your reference that if you have a database connected to your application, you can simply define the credentials over here. Okay, now comes the next thing, which is Django named folder. So where is that Django? Let's come here and search for Django's folder. So inside roles we have to come, and this is where Django is present. Again, we have tasks named folder. So this is the way you have to create the YAML files. In every roles folder, tasks name folder will come, and then inside it you can put the YAML file. So here you can see repo. We are connecting to this repo that we have passed here as a value for this parameter. We have simply used this variable here. See, this is how you can use a variable. Same thing we have done with this project directory. We are using this main branch of this repo, right? That's the reason we have used. That's the reason we have put main here. If you're using master, feel free to put master here. Then this is going to be the venv directory. Okay, it is again coming from this all.yaml file. Then comes all this complete structure, which is going to create the static files, Django migration. So all the commands, if you see, are present over here. Python manage.py collect static. This is how we are creating the virtual environment. We are putting the packages inside it. We are putting the complete structure of the Django on EC2 server. Now comes the next folder, which is with name Gunicorn, right? So that's what we are using for setting up Gunicorn on this server. Okay, so there are two files, permissions main.yaml. So whatever you will put inside this task name folder, all the YAML files will get executed. Okay, so the first thing that we're doing is we are preparing the Gunicorn.service. This is how we are creating the service. Then we are giving the permissions like this. Okay, then comes this permissions.yaml. If you want, you can create a separate file like the way I have created. If you want, you can put this code inside this file only. So both the things will work. Okay, this is for giving the required permissions to the directory which gets created after the Ansible commands put everything on the server. This is how we are automating the complete Django deployment process. So we are not doing anything manually. We have created these YAML files, and these YAML files are now doing the needful for us. The next thing that comes is this Nginx. So there are two things that we have done here. One is this creating the Nginx service. Okay, so this is a file with which we are creating it. See, this is a complete structure of the Nginx conf file that I showed you. And then we are restarting Nginx using these commands here. There is again this folder called handlers, in which there is this main.yaml file, inside which we have put this command of reloading the Nginx. Okay, so that's what we are doing when it comes to the YAML file configuration. Now I'm going to fire this command again. So everything has got executed successfully, and now if I will try to access my application in the browser, it is accessible. Okay, so this is the complete way you can use Ansible for automating the deployment of your Django project on an AWS EC2 server. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to let me know about your views in the comment section below.